Hello, my name's Sandra and I'm a clinical exercise specialist. And what we're going to do today is we're just going to do a short 15-minute activity together. We're going to do strength work, mobility, balance, strength work, and just finish off with a little bit of mindfulness and breathing. And these movements are really targeted at those who have a long-term condition. Perhaps you're recovering from long COVID, and the idea is that as you do the movements, you take your time. Little and often can sometimes be the key, just to help you back to that state of fitness that you had before. So if you have been unwell for a bit of time, you've been resting, you may not feel as strong as you were before. So the idea behind these movements is that it helps you to feel stronger, get a little bit more confident and take a little bit more power. So let's get going. So take your time. So just remember, only exercise if you're feeling well too. If you need any support, if you're a little bit unsure, then just have something you can rest your hand on, okay? So lengthen the spine, keeping the tummy muscles pulled in. We're just getting everything working, getting that blood moving around, particularly if you've been sitting for a little while. So here we go, we're just going to take the knees up. So if you do need some support, rest your hand on the chair. If you're quite happy to work with that, then you go without. Don't worry about the coordination, don't think about the height. We're just getting everything moving. That's good, just working, warming up through the hips. This is your last one coming out. So as we walk it through, we're just going to tap the heels towards the front, and then when you feel ready and when you're with me, just take the arms towards the front, just level with the shoulders. So keeping the chest lifted. Now as you're going into the movements, if you do notice in the pain as you're moving your arms, you take the movement a little bit slower, a little bit lower. Let's walk it through. Let's tap the legs out the side. So keeping the chest up, we're going to tap, keep it nice and light, keeping the spine nice and strong. If you're ready to join me today, see if you can get the arms working, okay? If it feels a little bit too much, just focus really on the legs, okay? Just take your time. Excellent. I'm just going to do two more together, nice and slowly, nice and light. That's good. Let's walk it through. Now I'm just going to tap the legs towards the back. I'm just going to turn, so you can see what my legs are doing. So you're going to tap the legs towards the back, bringing the feet back so they're hip width apart. If you need a little bit of support, just rest your hand on your chair, on the wall. If you feel ready, we can just take the hands off, working a little bit more into the shoulders. That's good, lovely. Let's just do one more together, team. Let's walk it through. So let's have your feet apart, just mobilising these key joints, shoulders all up towards the ears, and really lower them deep into back. That's good. Tummy muscles pulling, over we go. And release. Now keep on the knees nice and soft. We're just going to mobilise the spine. And sometimes it's a little bit tempting to push the hip out to the side as you work. So I want you just to think about sliding the fingertips down. Only do what's right for you. If you don't want to go this far with your hands down towards the knees, then don't. Just take your time and do what feels right. That's great, good. Up we come nice and slowly. So as we're working today, if you do feel the need to sit down and take a bit of time out, have a bit of a breathe, that's fine. Come back when you're ready. Let's go down to the ankles, the heel and toe. So push and pull. So I'm not doing too much work with my knee. I'm really thinking about using that big toe, placing it back to where the heel was. I've got my arms moving, but if you prefer to rest your hand on the chair, then do that. Just do what feels right. We're just mobilising, just loosening everything off. That's good. Lovely. Last two. This is your last one. So let's walk it through. So we're going to move into some balance work, dynamic balance, because we're going to move off the spot. So we're going to lift the chest up, opening out. I'd like you to imagine you're stepping over a brick. So you're going to step over that brick, get your balance, so back heel's lifted, and you're going to lift your foot back over that brick. Let's go again. So we're working on a balance. Now, as you notice, we're loading, we're adding a little bit of weight to that leg at the front, which is a good thing. Because as we get older, we need to really focus on strength, okay? So by taking that foot, stepping and adding that little bit of weight, it's a great strengthening exercise as well. Secondary for that thigh bone. So here we go, stepping over and release. So if you do need that support, if you do feel a little bit unsteady, holding onto the chair. Great. Now what we're going to do is, as you step over, I want you to imagine you've got that ball, you've got a ball, you're going to step, you're going to throw the ball down the garden, so you're going to balance, and then you're going to step back, bring your feet back hip width. So keeping the chest lifted, push, rolling through, and stepping back, keeping your feet hip width. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what it looks like. So step and push. You've got that moment of balance, lovely, and release. This is your last one. So step, push, keeping that balance, team, that's good. And release, well done. So just moving through your balance exercises. So now we're just going to move in a slightly different direction. We're going to move into lunges. So let's have your feet hip width apart. If you're a little bit unsteady, I'm just going to demonstrate. You're going to place both feet on the floor, pull back through the hips and bring your feet back hip width. If you're a little bit unsure, bring the chair around to the front and keep your hands on the chair. We're going to do 2 to each side. Here we go, and reach. Now pull back through the hips, lengthening, and bring your feet back hip width. You're nice and stable, nice wide base of support. Good. Let's change over. So I'm just going to shuffle over a bit. So we're going to step here, press, lengthen and lift. So sometimes if you've been resting for a while, if you've not been very well, sometimes we lose that strength. And then what happens, particularly if it's in the lower body, we find our balance is not as good as it could be. So we're just going to keep working that. Lovely. So now we're going to do our 3 strength exercises. So grab your weights if you're not lucky enough to have weights. Beans, can of beans. I'm going to use some beans today. Or we can use some water. So what we're going to do today is I'd like you just to step forward on one foot. Doesn't have to be very wide. Push your back heel in towards the floor. Drop the shoulders into the spine. We're just going to gently move the arms towards the back and release. So we're just strengthening the muscles through the back of the arm. Now it's good to focus on upper body work because if, as we get older, if there is a possibility that we do fall, and perhaps we've hurt our legs or perhaps we've hurt our hips, we need our arms, the upper body to be strong to move us around. So that's why we're focusing on that, keeping that strength. Now we've just got 2 more to do. So take your time, keeping that length. And if you do feel a little bit unsteady with this one, rest one hand on the chair. And what I'd like you to do is do 2 on one side and 2 on the other, okay? So go where it feels right for you. The main thing is you feel confident in the work that you're doing. Lovely, good. Now that's the upper part of the body. Today we're going to do a couple of movements for strengthening the lower part of the legs. So we're going to strengthen the muscles around the knees to help to stabilise them. So tummy muscles pulled in, rest your hands on the chair if you need to, open up the chest, slowly reaching, raising lower. Now it's not about the height. As you take the leg up, you're going to feel those muscles around the knees working. So you really want them to be nice and strong. It will help to reduce pain and it will help to stabilise that knee joint. Let's change over. Let's work on the other leg. So those of you who feel confident enough to work with maybe one finger on the chair, that's fine. But what I'd like you to think about is if you find that you're really focusing on keeping yourself steady, I'd like you to rest your hands on the chair or on the wall so you can focus on your strength. Good. Now we're going to do one more. Tummy muscles pulled in nice and tight. Lengthen. That's great. Good. Let's rest here. Lovely. That's a great exercise to strengthen the legs. You can do this exercise seated. So we're just going to have a little bit of a stretch. So relax the shoulders down, reaching forward. So sometimes when you are recovering from something, you just want to get the body moving. It's good to just do small little movements, bits of activity. That's it. And squeeze. Now pull the shoulders down to the back and gently squeeze the shoulder blades together, looking straight towards the front. That's good. Let's just loosen those shoulders off. So we're going to move down. So we want to keep the legs nice and strong as well. So we've done the strength work, but now we're going to lengthen those muscles so you have that full range as well. So you've got your hips facing towards the front, knees and toes in a straight line. We're going to transfer that weight, keeping that leg nice and long, lifting the bum carefully up towards the ceiling, resting the palms on the thighs. So you've got the chest lifted, so it's not too much work in the spine. You should feel a little bit of a stretch to the muscle at the back of the legs. So we're just going to change over, stepping forward on the other foot, so pushing the back heel in towards the floor. Once again, if you're a little bit unsteady, move the chair or rest your hands on the chair in the same position. That's it, good. Now really think about the stretch. I'd like you to really push the heel down to the floor. Try not to take it for granted and just plant the foot there. Really push that heel down, that's good. Let's sway backwards and taking that stretch. Great work, so that's really good for your walking and your balance. I like you to just bring your feet back, hip width apart, so just rolling everything off. So we're just going to have that moment where we just step out of our lives just for a moment, do a little bit of breathing, have a little bit of stillness in the body, just to allow the body to rest, okay? And this is called a Tai Chi movement, which is really good for mindfulness and just slowing everything down, just that general sense of well-being. So just relaxing the hands by the side, softening the knees and have the feet where it feels right for you. I'd like you to focus on your breathing, so breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe out through the mouth, breathe out just that little bit slower. Just almost imagine the lungs deflating, all of that air coming out. Let's do that together again. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And as you let the air out, just let everything go. Anything that's playing in your mind, just let it out as you breathe out. So let's start to use the hands. Breathing in. And as you use the hands, leading up with the wrist, and as you breathe out, imagine you're moving the hands over the back of the board. I like you to soften the knees. As you breathe out, you lengthen the legs, leading up with the wrist and breathing out. I'm just going to do 3 more together in silence. I'd like you just to focus on the stillness in your body. Lovely, well done. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you'd like me to work on something a little bit more with you, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, bye for now. Have a restful day.